Welcome to Professional Development for Write On Course 2020, a writing program for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. The program has 3 components: a student writing handbook, leveled skills books, and a free online teacher's guide. Let's take a look at the writing handbook. This is Write On Course 2020. You can see on the back cover that it has 5 sections: the process of writing, the forms of writing, the tools of learning, the proofreader's guide, and the student almanac. Let's look inside. The process of writing includes chapters on pre-writing, writing, revising, editing, and publishing. The forms of writing include the major modes: personal, narrative, explanatory, persuasive, writing about literature, news, creative, research, and writing across the curriculum. The tools in learning include using technology, reading and vocabulary skills, speaking, viewing, and listening skills, thinking skills, and learning skills. The Proofreader's Guide covers the rules of language: marking punctuation, editing for mechanics, improving spelling, using the right word, understanding sentences, and understanding our language. The Student Almanac features many exciting pages on language, science, mathematics, geography, government, and history. Let's take a look at the process section. This page spread shows the writing situation, purpose, audience, subject, and type, and begins one writer's process. These pages show pre-writing with selecting topics and gathering details. These pages show drafting. Here we see the student revising, and here we see editing. Now let's look at the forms chapters. Each major mode has a chapter on writing the form, like writing explanatory essays, and another chapter on writing other forms. The student starts out with rhetorical analysis, purpose, audience, subject, and type. Then the student considers many different explanatory writing ideas. Afterward, they find a sample essay as well as a graphic that shows the pattern of organization. Then students follow a set of writing guidelines to create their own essays. The guidelines move through pre-writing, writing, revising, and editing. The chapter ends with an explanatory rubric. The next chapter focuses on many other explanatory writing forms: how to, comparison contrast, cause effect, and responding to an explanatory prompt. Now let's take a look at the Proofreader's Guide. It provides rules and examples for punctuation, mechanics, spelling, usage, sentences, and grammar. Finally, we have the Student Almanac with pages on language, science, mathematics, geography, government, and history. These pages inspire students to write not only in language arts, but across the curriculum. Now let's have a look inside the skills books: 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. The skills books include instruction and activities that teach marking for punctuation, editing for mechanics, using the right word, sentence basics, sentence combining, sentence problems, sentence variety, and the parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, interjections, and conjunctions. The activities feature 2 pages back to back. Students receive instruction, read directions, and then complete the activity. These skills books also have cross-references to the student handbook. Now let's look at the free online teacher's guide. You can find it by going to k12.thoughtfullearning.com and clicking on Teacher's Guides. You can watch a video about how the teacher's guide works. Getting started with your free online teacher's guide. Then scroll down to find the Write On Course 2020 Teacher's Guide. The guide features a scope and sequence, year-long timetable, getting started activities, chapter-by-chapter guide to the student handbook, assessing writing, research basis, and activities and handouts. Let's look at the year-long timetable. This suggested year-long timetable gives one possible sequence of writing and language skill units based on a 5 days per week class. In week 1, we might try some getting started activities. If I click there, I get a whole page of getting started activities. Each of these is a download that you can use to distribute an activity to your students. It will open Microsoft Word and open a document that students can edit digitally or that you can print out and distribute. You can also open these documents as Google Docs. Let's go back to the year-long timetable. So in week 1, we might do some getting started activities. Then we'll do the Why Write pages of the handbook. And then we'll introduce writing in journals to get students started with that. In week 2, we can do understanding writing, one writer's process, and creating sentences in the handbook. And then also add sentence basics. And there we can start to use the skills books, skills book 6, 7, and 8 with these page ranges. In week 3, we could do understanding the traits of writing, and then have students start writing actual essays. A descriptive essay for grade 6, a personal narrative for grade 7, or a biographical narrative for grade 8. We can also teach sentence combining and use these skills book pages. If I click on personal narrative, it will take me to the chapter-by-chapter guide on the personal narratives page. We see the opening page of the chapter with a startup activity and a think about it quote. Then we see the state standards that are covered for the chapter. And then page by page, I get suggestions for presenting that page, as well as other supports that I can use. For example, this mini lesson on using the past strategy for rhetorical analysis. Every checklist and rubric in the book is also available as a download. And you'll find many other helpful downloads as well. To get started with this program, download the Write On Course 2020 program sheet. It overviews everything that this video has talked about and also gives you a simple 4-step process to get started with the program. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, and Step 4. Thank you for taking this tour of the Write On Course 2020 Handbook, Skills Books, and Free Online Teacher's Guide. We hope they help your students become the best writers they can be.